Hi, everyone. Wonderful to be doing this again. Wonderful that you're listening. Today is Monday, um, March 16th of 2026. And yesterday in the Twin Cities here of Minneapolis and St. Paul, we got about 15 inches of snow. Huge storm. Big blizzard came through on Saturday and Sunday. And so um, we couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't really go anywhere. Streets hadn't been plowed and roads are closed, when you get that much snow for at least a while until the plows come and you can shovel yourself out. And so today I find myself with a lot of unstructured free time. And when I have unstructured time, one of the things I like to do is record a talk that I can schedule to be posted for you to listen to. So this might not be posted for a number of days, a number of weeks, even a couple of months, depending on how it fits into our schedule. But what I noticed about myself this morning was that I'm grateful for the unstructured time. I'm grateful for the opportunity to record a talk like this for you all. I really enjoyed doing that. But I also noticed, because I'm unable to do anything, or my ability to do things is limited to something that would have to happen inside this little place. I can't go out. The restlessness that comes with that, not a super unusual feeling. I'm sure all of you know to some degree what that kind of restlessness feels like. And for those of us who live in a northern clime where we're limited, to some degree at least, for much of the year, cabin fever is the term we use to describe, 5 months spent largely inside, you start getting a little nuts. And those first really warm spring days, people act really giddy and they're thrilled. We run around like puppy dogs out there, So I'm feeling a little bit of that cabin fever today, but it prompted me to remind you and remind myself along with you to look carefully at our restlessness, look carefully at our boredom. They're not bad things. They're actually pretty endurable emotional states. And they can show us something. They really can show us something. The kind of anxiety piece that's woven into that restlessness. There's an anxiety there. There's an anger there. In boredom, oftentimes. And so I was noticing that in myself today and thinking about how Dharma practice can keep us busy. Are you keeping busy? Keeping busy was a way of saying, how are you? If you hadn't seen somebody in a while, at the Christmas party or something, you might ask your cousin, oh, how's it going? Are you keeping busy? It seems fair to say that we all belong to the cult of busy in this culture to a greater or lesser degree. So I'm looking out the window here down at the street in the parking lot. My car is covered. It's hardly even recognizable. It's just under this big mound of snow. And wondering about when the plow is going to come and when I'll be able to do the shoveling and when the streets are going to open up, what that's going to look like, and feeling the restlessness, feeling the anxiousness, noticing the stay busy scripting. And I feel my breath suddenly. I'm pretty used to coming back to the breath with my awareness. I'm guessing a lot of you are similarly familiar. One of the things that structured or regular meditation practice does for us is it just establishes patterns of perception, you know, habits of awareness, just things we tend to do with the lens, the light of our awareness. If we keep going back to shining that awareness on certain phenomena, certain experience, certain things, that habit stays, with us. And so I'm standing at the window feeling my desire to be busy. And then the breath includes itself. And I settle into the experience of being a breathing body, the direction that my feet are pointing, the way I had chosen to balance my bones as I was standing there, and I made some adjustments. I could feel the tension of how I was carrying myself because I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just being the anxiousness, the desire to be busy. So I'm reminding you that your life contains both the suffering that comes with the moment, in this case, the desire to be busy, the fear of not getting enough done. What might that mean? What are the ramifications of that? But that your life also includes the freedom of the breath that's already happening. All the organs are functioning. The eyes are seeing, the ears are hearing. Difficulty and strife, the pain of being alive that we talk so much about in spiritual practice comes without warning. Yeah, it does. Often. And so does the experience of contentment, okayness. That can also come without warning. Usually you think that just the bad one shows up without warning because we spend so much time, you spend so much time planning for the good one. If I arrange everything just right, then the good will come. It's like trying to lure a shy animal called the good life into our homes. So we imagine that most of our time is spent planning, organizing, luring, seducing the good life to come visit. Whereas the bad seems to come without warning. It's good to be reminded that that's not the case. At least not always the case. It's especially good to be reminded that they show up together. The good life of my breathing, my functioning, was already happening. It already included the anxiety and the fear, the restlessness. So all that really happened was the awareness piece. Oh, I've just become aware both are happening. The good life already includes suffering. The good life already includes restlessness. The good life already includes struggle or pain or grief. The good life includes all of those things already, right? And I'm using good in this case and life as redundant synonyms. This is good beyond good and bad. We say the good life because we just affirm the goodness of life. Life just is good. Life is a good thing. It doesn't have opposites. We all understand that life includes difficulty and challenge and constriction and pain. Of course it does. But we still affirm life. It hasn't occurred to you maybe that difficulties come with harmony and abundance. That's one thing. Life. One thing. And the distinctions we make all happen at the same time. The harmony and abundance part. The difficult, the struggle part. I'm already dividing up the whole. There is just the one thing happening. I am that. That is what I am. That is what you are. That is what we are. We are that dynamic functioning, that life. So we have a short poem today from Mark Strand. The poem is called The Good Life. You stand at the window. There's a glass cloud in the shape of a heart. There are the wind's sighs that are like caves in your speech. You are the ghost in the tree outside. The street is quiet. The weather, like tomorrow, like your life, is partially here, partially up in the air. There is nothing you can do. The good life gives no warning. It weathers the climates of despair and appears on foot, unrecognized, offering nothing. And you are there. So there's a lot in that poem that I can't speak to really. But you can imagine why I was reminded of it today as I stood at my window, just like he says, feeling the longings of something, the subtle resistances of the human, the subtle sufferings of, oh, I wish this was different, and oh, I want that to be that way, and oh, I hope this doesn't happen. You can feel the humanity of that. That's the story of every human's day. And then you can also hear, I hope, in my story, echoed in the poem, suddenly remembering, oh, this is good. All of it is good. Beyond good, beyond bad, beyond preference. This isn't my preference. Being snowed in isn't my preference, but can you feel when we drop our guard, when we drop our resistance, when we drop our armoring, something else reveals itself, something that was already there. This is me having a moment. This is me being the moment. This is me standing, looking out a window. My life is full. It doesn't lack anything. It doesn't lack anything. It won't be more full when I can go shovel later, or when the plow comes, or when I can run a bunch of errands and feel busy. That moment that's coming isn't more full than this. To believe that it is more full than this suggests that this moment is somehow incomplete, that I'm being denied something essential about life. That's not true. That's not true. If I just look into my experience, standing, breathing, feeling, thinking, noticing, watching, all of it, it's completely full. How could it not be? The good life gives no warning. What a great line that is. And it weathers the climates of despair, he says. It appears on foot, unrecognized, offering nothing. I love that phrase. They suggest to me complete everydayness, utter humility, and you're probably going to miss it most of the time because it doesn't feel like it's coming in the door with a lot of color and sound and majesty and gifts. It's just a regular thing, a regular moment, a regular breath, on foot, unrecognized. You don't see it. It doesn't offer you anything. I feel like that's a beautiful, beautiful spiritual insight expressed wonderfully, especially when the punch at the end, Mark Strand's last line is, and you are there. You are there. That's it. You're there. It's challenging for us. We can recognize, some part of us, I'm sure, can recognize how quiet and big this truth is. I'm sure some part of you, as you're listening, can recognize, oh yeah, that is how life is. It's just fine the way it is. It's whole. And I know you also can recognize, oh, and I usually don't have that awareness. I rarely remember. I rarely remember. Most of my life is the struggle against the snow. Most of my life is the desire to be busy, lest my feelings catch up with me, lest my fear catches up with me, lest I imagine that I am less. I've heard the sentence, we've all heard the sentence, human being versus human doing. Oh, I get it. We define ourselves by our activity because we're Homo sapiens. We define ourselves by how we spend our time. We think that we are that functioning. I spend time baking, I am therefore a baker. Baking is the thing that gives me value. I get it. Human beings do that. You get it. Human beings do that. Yeah, we get that. It doesn't mean stop baking. It certainly doesn't for me mean in a while that I'll be a shoveler. Yeah, I'll do the activity of shoveling, and then I'll be a driver. I'll do the activity of driving, an errand runner, a grocery purchaser, a letter mailer. It's okay. None of that really has to be busy. It's just the next thing. Just the next thing, the next breath on the window. So, I hope this can be the foundation that you build practice on. I realize how upsetting that idea is. I'm using the word upsetting in kind of a literal sense of it upsetting. It turns something upside down, right? I thought it was this and it was this. And I say that because it makes sense to me. Every one of us, I can think of no exceptions anyway. Every one of us comes to spiritual endeavor practice, whatever it is, with a desire to create peace where there is none, to create wholeness where there is none, to repair fractures, to heal. We have an agenda. Of course. Yeah. Of course. We don't need that to change. That makes perfect sense. That's how human beings see the universe. A problem to be solved, a wound to be healed, something broken to be fixed. That's much of how we participate. Right? We're lacking something. We need to get something. When Mark Strand says the good life offers nothing, we're puzzled by it immediately and maybe a little angry. What do you mean? Of course it's there for me and it's offering itself to me so I can get it because I don't currently have it. Isn't that why we sit? To get peace? Because we don't have peace? To move from affliction to contentment? If I already really deeply felt the wholeness of everything, Why would I sit? Would you? Do you plan on sitting after your enlightenment? When you wake up someday and realize every talk you ever heard was true, every Dharma talk was all true, all saying the same thing, you're Buddha, always have been, always will be. When you have that moment of realization, oh, I see it, all the way to the bottom, will you keep sitting? Will you keep practicing? Will you keep wondering? Will suffering still be welcome? Or will you turn it away? It already is. It already is. Your enlightenment, it already is. It just is, eminent. Right? Whether you see it or not, whether you know it or not, isn't the point. It's the truth of the moon. It's one of the reasons our tradition, the Zen tradition, uses moon. The moon is its symbol for enlightenment, right? It is. It's right there. You've seen it. You've seen it 10,000 times up in the sky. You've seen it in the day. You've seen it at night. You've seen it full. You've seen it partial. You've seen it big. You've seen it small. There it is. Right there. Imminent. And just like every little dewdrop, our metaphor from our friend Dogen, reflects that moon when you go out at night and look at the drops of water on the grass tips. If you've got good eyesight, you can see. Oh, they all reflect the whole sky, the whole moon, right there. Already imminent. That's our metaphor. You already reflect the whole thing. The entire enlightenment, the entire cosmos, the entire everything, all of life, lifing, lacking nothing, full. You already are that. You are that. It already is. Would you still sit? Do we still sit? What's the point of our practice? I hope what you can hear in my thread today, or what I'm hoping is my thread today, is nothing about this is about comfort or discomfort. They always show up together. I like this bit and I don't like that bit. Yeah, of course. Every single moment. There's a part you like about it and there's a part you don't. That's just true. Everybody knows that, don't they? That could be your meditation today. Just whenever you think of it, go, what about this moment works? What about this moment do I wish was different? What about this moment is functioning just fine? What about this moment do I wish was different? What do I like? What do I not like? That's all we're asking. What's working? And what do I imagine isn't working that I wish was different? Car's operating great. I wish the traffic wasn't so heavy. The sun is out. I wish it wasn't so cold. I feel pretty good today. I wish I didn't have to work so much. Just notice it. Life is their whole. The whole thing is happening whole, just full, whole. And as is our birthright as humans, we each have our preference. I like this part and not that part. I want more of this and I want less of this. Every human being does this. We're not even asking that to stop, that function. That's just a function. We're just needing to include it and see it. I notice that my comfort shows up with my discomfort. I notice that they show up together. The good life. Just to be alive is enough, he said. Shunryu Suzuki Roshi. Just to be alive is enough. That is a deeply profound truth, and we resist it mightily. Surely that isn't it. Just to be alive is enough. Can you feel how challenging that Dharma teaching is? Not about comfort, not about discomfort. Not about chasing, not about grabbing, not about not doing. Nope. No categories in that. No categories. Comfort isn't success, is it? So when I'm uncomfortable and I notice my discomfort and I notice my pain or I notice my suffering, how quickly the human in me adds a second arrow, the arrow of self-judgment. Because when you are comfortable, you are successful and you are good. When you're uncomfortable, you must have failed in some way. This must be about a personal failing of some kind. It's funny that we equate those, but it's true. But it's true we do. Despite that truth not holding up to any kind of examination at all, it falls apart immediately. You think, that's not a truth. That's a house of cards. Happiness isn't an achievement. What the hell am I thinking? Being busy isn't being good. Why do I operate from that place? Being not busy isn't good either. That's not the point. Being comfortable isn't success. And so being uncomfortable isn't failure. Why do I think being uncomfortable is failure? This practice shouldn't make us busy. It shouldn't make us not busy. It shouldn't have that category, right? Dharma practice isn't productive, nor is it non-productive or unproductive. That's not the point. Never has been. How could it be? Are you busy when you're on the cushion? Are you not busy when you're on the cushion? Can you feel that what you're doing is beyond those two categories? I'll end with this. Practice doesn't make you good. I hear this a lot. I guess it makes sense, right? I'm a Zen teacher, so you hear all the time, oh, I'm trying to be a good Buddhist. I'm trying to be a good spiritual practitioner. I'm trying to be a good meditator. I'm trying to be a good mindfulness practitioner. I'm trying to be a good Christian. I'm trying to be a good person. I'm trying to be a good dad. I'm trying to be a good husband. I'm trying to be a good mother. I'm trying to be a good daughter, right? You understand this. You have that. There's something beautiful in that aspiration. I can see aspiration in that. I can honor the beauty of that aspiration. Good. Good, 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 good. I can hang on to that too, as a relative truth, as a little bit of a compass. Okay. It kind of works in with the precepts. It sort of works in with the Eightfold Path. It kind of works in with the commandments and the rules and the part of us that wants to be good. Okay, cool. But for today's talk, in this conversation, it's a relief to let that go. It's actually a relief to one part of you to hear the sentence, practice doesn't make you good. To another part of you, that's very, very difficult. It's very challenging, maybe angering, maybe afflictive. I understand. The other part, and remember, they're both showing up at the same time. It's okay for them both to be here. Practice doesn't make you good. Love will never fit inside good. Good is too small of a category. Love will never fit inside good. Can't. Good is too small of a category. So this is your life. It's too small to fit inside busy. It's too big to fit inside busy. Busy is too small a category to hold your life. Good is too small a category to hold your life. Fulfilled is too small of a category. Successful, oof, that's way too small for your life. Imagine how big your life actually is. Imagine what your life actually contains. How many experiences you've had, how many feelings you've had, how many thoughts you've had, how many impulses you've had, how many micro moments of impulse or instinct you've had. The thing you call your life. That thing, when you look really, really carefully at, you can't even find a beginning to, nor can you find an end to. And you're going to try to fit it into fulfilled, or good, or happy, or successful? No. It's much, much, much too big. And the truth of it is just here. Just to be alive is enough. It arrives unbidden. On foot, it offers you nothing. The truth of the moon hanging in the sky. That's the good beyond good and bad. I'm reminding you of this today. I hope you notice your breathing. I hope you notice what direction your feet are pointing, how you're balancing your bones, the parts of you that want to go outside and shovel, and the parts that are glad to not have to. Both showing up. Okay. The good life. Thank you very much. See you again very soon.